15 UFC
Justin
bonuses in
Gaethje.
15 fights. Justin Gaethje
What?
is without question the most entertaining do-or-die fighter in the UFC today.
I don't usually plan on being alive the day after my fights.
He fights with zero concern for his safety, is happy to take 2 shots to give 1, and is the epitome of kill or be killed.
Man.
In a sport that's violent, it's an inherently violent sport, he stands out as the most violent.
Gaethje has the wrestling credentials to fight safer, but his own reckless mentality is what makes him a star.
I got the biggest heart. I'm the most violent guy in this division.
It's a fighting style that should result in a short and dangerous career, but against all odds, Justin Gaethje found a way to make it work at the top of the most stacked UFC division for almost a decade. And now, in his late 30s, he has one last shot at the goal that's eluded him this whole time: the undisputed UFC lightweight title. So this is the story of how Justin Gaethje survived his own fighting style.
Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria, White House card. That's coming up. I'm gonna watch that. Check the UFC Pride playlist for more videos like this, man. But hey, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Justin Gaethje, 15 finishes in 15 fights. That's tough.
Despite being a NCAA Division I wrestler, Gaethje almost never uses his grappling. According to ESPN stats, he went for just 1 takedown in his first 10 UFC fights.
He was a Division I grappler. I'd have never knew. Watching Gaethje.
I sold myself so hard.
What?
The fact this is not wrestling, this is fighting, and so I don't know. I really honestly don't know the answer to that question.
I didn't know that.
It gets you tired, and I don't want to get tired. If I'm gonna get tired, it's gonna be from fighting and not from wrestling.
For him, at least in the beginning, he was in MMA for money.
I mean, that's a good
and
excuse.
wrestling his way to decision victories wasn't going to get his name in the headlines. So instead, his aim was to create utter chaos, back and forth wars, knowing his opponent would break either physically or mentally before he would. And coming to the UFC undefeated, a champion in his former organization, Gaethje, already had a serious reputation for the way he fought.
July 7th, Michael is gonna oblige my wish to come in there and give me a war. So that's all I got to say right now. Once I get to fight, then I'll have more to say.
Listen, Justin, you had wars in World Series, but when you come over to the UFC, you won't have a war with me, man. So it's all right. We're gonna bang. Don't get it wrong, but you're out of your league on this one, buddy.
In his debut against
he was talking high.
Gaethje was as advertised. It was the definition of a war. Gaethje was on the verge of defeat multiple times.
I remember
but
that.
in the end,
Ooh, he beat
broke
the
Johnson
dog.
and many people's.
He
fight of the
almost
year.
got knocked
There's
out
like
though.
2 fights and I'm like, I wish I called that fight, because that fight was madness. That was just
I have fun in the
madness.
corner. I've had so much time in the corner.
His master plan was coming to fruition because after just 1 UFC fight, Justin was already a star in the making.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much so that the
I
UFC
can-
made
bro.
him a coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
I never knew that was his first fight. That is insane. First fight and you going out, like, that's crazy.
Position usually reserved for champions, title contenders, or the most entertaining fighters on the roster.
Yeah, Justin, big deal. You coaching on The Ultimate Fighter. How was that experience for you, just as a whole, being
That's
on the other side of
crazy.
things?
It was great. I loved it. I was in their position 4 days before that show started. Never fought in the UFC, trying to prove myself. So yeah, it was a great. Great. I was, on their same. I learned just as much from them as they did from me. So.
But the problem was, while Michael Johnson was a dangerous opponent, he wasn't the elite of the elite. And a quiet narrative was building that Justin's car crash way of fighting simply wouldn't work against the very best the UFC had to offer at 155 pounds. That theory would quickly be put to the test because in his next 2 fights, Gaethje was standing opposite former champion Eddie Alvarez and the veteran Dustin Poirier. And both of them went the exact same way. Total wars, where for the first time in his life, Justin was on the losing side. But with both fights winning Fight of the Year awards from numerous MMA outlets, Gaethje's star power didn't
I wish
take
we can
a
see
hit.
them
If
shits.
anything, it grew. Just like what we're trying to do with our subscriber count. So please go take a quick second and subscribe to the channel. But it was during this dark time where fans really began to understand the psychology of what makes Gaethje a once-in-a-lifetime fighter.
I signed up for this. I said it before. I've said it many times that I was going to lose. If I lost, I hoped that I would got knocked out, and all those things came true. I love the sport. I'm a fan of MMA. I've been a fan of MMA since before I started it. I was a fan of Eddie Alvarez before I started fighting. So, just the culmination of events that have transpired in my life. through hard work, through specifically hard work. You know, it's just I'm happy.
Unlike almost all undefeated fighters, Justin didn't have this delusion that he was untouchable. He knew he'd lose one, and when he did, he wanted it to be by knockout. I don't think a single fighter in combat sports history shares that opinion. It's a bizarre insight into the mental state Gaethje has forced himself into to be able to fight the way he does.
Hold on, I want to see his early career though, because bro, how did he just get in the UFC and started fighting all the top contenders? Like Michael Johnson, then the Diamond, then bro, what going on? Like,
absolutely,
he must have been
lives by
sparking
the
shit in
sword
the other
and
promotions.
dies by the sword. Even during the moments where he hurt Poirier in their fight, Gaethje recognized he could use his wrestling, bank rounds, and probably grind out a win, but his brain simply wouldn't allow it. It's all well and good saying things like this when you're undefeated and winning. At that point, it's easy to have that warrior bravado. But here, Gaethje suffered back-to-back losses and doubled down on his way of fighting when the MMA world had written it off. At the time, a lot of fans saw the reckless abandonment, the lack of defense, and just assumed Gaethje was the simple-minded, meat-headed brawler. But everything about the way he fights is intentional. His grit, his pressure, his never-say-die attitude are his greatest strengths, and his style plays perfectly to that. Yet, in most people's eyes, Justin Gaethje had hit his ceiling in the UFC. A must-watch, guaranteed
Damn,
fight.
where?
Yes. A legitimate title contender? Probably not. And that's 100% the opinion his next opponent shared loud and clear.
Are you gonna run like a bitch the whole time, or are you gonna stand there and fight me for these people?
Yeah, I'm not the Homer Simpson of MMA like you are, bro. I'm not gonna take a beating, but you will get knocked the out. You take 10 significant strikes per minute. That's 50 shots a round. That you ain't lasting 3 rounds of me taking all that beating like that. You're
So
29 years old and you're 29 years old and you're punch drunk and slurring when you talk, bro.
Gaethje's style was one that didn't give thought to his own mental health, and it was becoming a bit of a meme.
Damn, he was talking crazy.
With James Vick talking a wild amount before their fight. But again, Gaethje was fully aware of the consequences of how he fought. He knew and accepted that he was likely trading years of his life in exchange for fame, fortune, and entertainment. But when it came to James Vick, Gaethje was a rare one-sided fight, scoring a big knockout early on, and that became a bit of a trend.
I remember that.
Rosa and then Donald Cerrone, 2 more first-round finishes followed. It marked a new.
He said, "Fuck you."
And then Donald Cerrone, 2 more first-round finishes followed. It marked a new change in Gaethje, one that his coach Trevor Whitman guided him towards.
I'm there to make sure I'm.
Hey, hold on.
His goals, not my goals. Like,
hey, why he tell the ref fuck you like that? What was the ref? I told you these referees be trying to get these fighters killed, bro. Gaethje like, bro, you trying to get this man killed here.
It marked a new change.
Oh, go back.
And then Donald Cerrone,
Bam.
2 more first-round finishes followed. It marked a new change in Gaethje, one that his coach Trevor Whitman guided him towards.
I'm there to make sure I'm hitting his goals, not my goals. Like, I'm there for the athlete. I train every athlete differently. And it's all about purpose. Like, what's your purpose for fighting? What do you want to be? And his has changed in the last 4 fights. 4 fights ago, he actually said he wanted to be a world champion. And before that, I want to be the most exciting fighter in the world. And it was about going out there causing those wars. And in the gym, he was sharp and could box and could really do some athletic stuff. But he loved to see people drowned.
Justin recognized that he didn't have to go pedal to the metal from the first second to the last. He could, at times, take his foot off the gas, have some defensive thoughts, and still be in super exciting fights. And in his next fight against Tony Ferguson, who was not only unbeaten in 12 UFC fights, but reveled in chaos like Justin, the highlight put on a near shutout.
I knew that the boxing and the movement and the ability to get inside that range and land those big shots and hurt Tony, because he likes to take shots.
He did Tony
Justin's
bad.
just a different breed. That's not a guy that you can sit there.
He did Tony bad.
And take shot from. You cannot get knocked
Oh
out.
my
He's gonna
God.
wear on you, and the calf kicks. It was just, I mean, that was one of the most beautiful performances I've seen out of him and out of any lightweight in the UFC. That was a main event right there, guys.
Fighting a masterclass is something you would have never said about Gaethje. It was clear he developed as a fighter.
He was conservative. He found his punches. He knew when to get out. This was the one thing that was different about the Justin Gaethjes we saw tonight. He was usually a guy that will give 2 punches, but he has to take 2 back. No, tonight he was selfish. He gave punches, he got out of the way.
And while he would go on to lose 2 title fights to Khabib and and Charles.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That time when he fought Tony Ferguson, it was quiet in there too. You could hear all them punches. It was nasty. It was brutal. It was brutal. And the ref just let it get. It was brutal.
Oliveira. It wasn't a stylistic issue. Those fighters were just the better men on the night.
For sure.
Justin, throughout his time, he changed. And that's carried him from victory to victory ever since, except for one 10-second period where that warrior mentality cost him dearly.
Fatality.
With this newfound ability to turn fights into wars, play the sniper, and dictate the pace of the action, Gaethje was a force to be reckoned with.
I watched this live.
It was on display in the Fight of the Year contender with Michael Chandler.
The opener to the pay-per-view, Justin Gaethje.
Dictate the pace of the action, Gaethje was a force to be reckoned with, and it was on display in the Fight of the Year contender with Michael Chandler.
The opener to the pay-per-view, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. I mean, possibly one of the best fights I've ever seen live. I mean, just chaos. Michael Chandler, he's been accused of having a soft chin, and at the end of the fight, he's walking through gritty, spitting out blood, defiant.
But perhaps the most satisfying win of his career was to come, against Dustin Poirier, the man who previously battled with the BMF title on the line, a belt that was destined to end up in Gaethje's hands. And after a back and forth, all action first round, it looks like we were in for yet another slugfest. But early in the second round, Gaethje picked the right shot and got his revenge. All because he was able to take his foot.
He did knock him out with a head kick.
But that old Justin Gaethje had never gone away. Not truly. The want to throw caution to the wind, brawl, and make it ugly was still inside him. So despite losing 4 rounds, 4 minutes and 50 seconds at UFC 300 against Max Holloway, when the Hawaiian pointed to the octagon floor, there was not a chance Gaethje was going to decline. It might have been a Hail Mary chance for him to pull a victory from the jaws of defeat, but Gaethje could have been winning comfortably. He would have still thrown down at the end. That's just who he is. And while his coach was smiling proud, knowing moments like this are what his fighters live for, Max Holloway landed one final clean strike right on the buzzer to put Justin out cold. It was maybe the craziest moment
that was
in UFC
crazy,
history, one that had everyone in the sport losing their minds.
Was his coach really like, when he got that's crazy? That's how you know his coach is like, he just want violence, bro. We love war.
Rolling Thunder from Justin Gaethje, right in the middle. Let's do it. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Let's go! Oh my god!
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh my god! Oh my Justin Gaethje got slapped! Justin Gaethje got flattened!
Just as Gaethje was becoming more tactical, more defensively astute, and more wise, he was drawn into the fire like he never had before. Throughout his career, it was him creating the chaos, but this time, he'd been outdone by Holloway. And in his mid-30s, with 2 failed title shots and losing the BMF title behind him, it felt like father time had come for Gaethje. There was a new crop of lightweights coming through the ranks, and it looked like the old guard were done for. And after this brutal knockout, Justin Gaethje, more so than anyone.
And look, he is that kind of fighting style where just one day you wake up and you look old. And he had that brutal knockout at the hands of Max Holloway. So I think after that, we're kind of saying, well, a guy who fights like that, he's on bought time. And if he does get in a firefight, it's not going to go very well for him.
He even recognized himself that retirement wasn't too far away. And should he get put away like that again, it's probably curtains.
Yeah.
Taken a lot of trauma over the years with, in your wins as well as in your losses and the way you fight, right? Yeah, that's why people love you, because of the way you sacrifice. But wait, did you ever consider, the Holloway fight being it?
No, I ain't going out like that. If it happens again, I'm sure it'll be it.
For all his recklessness inside the octagon, he wisely took a year off after the Holloway fight and went 6 months without being hit a single time. So when he was matched up against Rafael Fiziev yet again, even though Justin was victorious in their first fight, it felt like the tide had shifted. The betting odds suggested Fiziev could get the job done, even though
he hit like a truck, ain't gonna lie.
And the narrative from MMA fans was that it was very likely Gaethje would lose and hang up the gloves on a Hall of Fame career for good. Because after all, with all those battles and the KO losses on his body, surely he couldn't be one of these guys who just keeps going. But in a tight contest, the never say die attitude helped Justin dominate the final few minutes and put an exclamation mark on an unlikely win.
I was a little nervous. Yeah, he took a very different approach than the first fight, and if I don't move forward when he's fighting like that, then I'm gonna have issues. He's so fast. But yeah, I think my coach telling me that I had to win second and third round. I knew I needed to move forward. I think all the champions move forward, and I think that's a huge part of the sport.
And then the same story repeated itself against another up-and-coming contender,
Paddy
Pimblett. Justin will lose, retire, and that'll be that. He's too old, been through too much, and won't keep up with the next generation.
You had really smart guys like Dustin Poirier telling you Justin Gaethje's got this, and you had really smart other analysts and fighters and fans saying, no, this is Paddy's time. Gaethje's too old. He's 37. You know, he can't take a shot like he once did. He was knocked out by Max Holloway not that long, all that stuff and more. And quite frankly, I was in that camp.
But instead of fighting the tactical fight, maybe even using a bit of wrestling, Gaethje went old school, full-on chaos, no concern for his safety, and just walked down Paddy and essentially bullied him for almost 25 minutes. It was vintage.
Yeah, he did Paddy dirty.
In the end, it was just a slobber knocker, as they'd say, like just a drag him out brawl. And Paddy wasn't going anywhere. It's just, he looked like he was connecting really hard, but it's like, it's that otherworldly zombie kind of thing that comes over Gaethje in these fights. Like, he does have an extra durability that we've seen in these fights right from the get-go in his UFC tenure as well, and before that as well, but really during that Michael Johnson fight, that has been the hallmark of his UFC tenure, and it was incredible to see him do it now.
And that is the beauty of his career. His style lends himself to a short but memorable career, yet somehow he's found a way to be known for his longevity. He debuted as an amateur in 2008, and after 16 years of war, he's still at the very top. But there is one final frightening hurdle.
My goat,
Ilia Topuria.
What Ilia does do is he touches you, and that's
Ilia gonna hammer. Look, I love Gaethje. I love Gaethje. But Ilia is my GOAT of this generation. He remind me of Conor. I'm sorry, y'all know Conor is my actual GOAT. I'm sorry, but Ilia's gonna do him so dirty. But look, I'm rooting for Justin. You know, I'm rooting for Justin. But you see him right here? He put people down. Ilia video coming soon, trust.
For his longevity. He debuted as an amateur in 2008, and after 16 years of war, he's still at the very top. But there is one final frightening hurdle ahead of him, Ilia Topuria.
What Ilia does do is he touches you, and that's what Firas Zahabi calls the touch of death. He's got that touch of death, man.
Put your
When
ass
he did that
sleep.
shit to Charles, I was like, I can't even
Sleep!
believe I'm seeing
Go
this.
sleep.
They folded him.
Folded him.
He didn't look bad on the floor
Called
either.
it.
I know, right? I
Celebrated
know.
the night
I know.
before.
His star power pushed him into the headline spot of the whole UFC White House card for the undisputed lightweight title that eluded him his entire career. He's been a two-time interim champ, held the BMF belt, but this will be his third shot at undisputed gold. The problem is, he has to get through Ilia Topuria of all people to get it done. For Justin Gaethje to retire having accomplished it all, it's going to take something he's more than capable of doing. One final war. Thanks for watching.
Only way Justin win his fight if he lasts the first 3 rounds. He can go to war. If he can go to war with Ilia Topuria for the first 3 and last, I think he can beat him. Ilia Topuria, it's like his first 3 shots you got to worry about. It's the next 4, 5, 6 shots. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments y'all think winning the fight. And look, man, let me know who you want me to react to next. Let me see y'all in that video. Okay, and start sending me videos to react to, man, because it's hard. It was hard for me to find a Justin Gaethje video. It was hard. You know what I'm saying? So y'all start sending me videos to react to, but I'm gonna see y'all in this video. No cap.